Amber Page, and I just want to share with you today why I decided to become a Beachbody coach. I want to kind of start out with my backstory. I have struggled with my weight my entire life, and I don't ever really remember being bullied or being made fun of, but I struggled internally. I struggled with self-esteem. I really let my weight define who I was, and sometimes I still do. It's always been a struggle for me. I think my lowest point came probably around 6 years ago, right after my son was born. I had preeclampsia at the end of my pregnancy. I had my son, had, some complications with childbirth. And I remember telling my mom, I'm going to lose weight because I don't want to do this anymore. And 2 days later, my husband lost his job. So that was just devastating for our family, for our marriage. And quite honestly, I gave up. I gave up on me. I let myself go. I quit caring. I took care of my son. I took care of my husband, but I did not take care of me. So I did get to my highest weight then, and I was struggling with postpartum depression, and it was a pretty terrible time in my life. I think I realized that, I couldn't go on living this way. And, my husband and I decided, we also wanted more children. So I started to try to lose weight. I kind of did the normal counting calories, trying to work out, this, that, and the other. I would yo-yo up and down. I'd lose some, then I'd gain some. And, it just wasn't working. We finally decided, I'd lost maybe 30, 40 pounds. We decided if we're going to have more children, we're just going to have to do this. We're just going to have to throw caution to the wind and go ahead. So about 2 years ago, I got pregnant. And about 8 weeks into my pregnancy, I had a miscarriage. That's not something I talk about a lot because, quite honestly, it was really hard on me mentally. I felt like I had let my body down by not taking care of it. And I felt like my body failed me and my husband. Luckily, I bounced back quickly and we got pregnant fairly quickly. So now we have a 6-year-old and a 9-month-old. But it was actually when I was pregnant that I was introduced to Beachbody. My sister-in-law became a coach, and I had casually mentioned to her that, when I was done being pregnant, I wanted to, try this out. I didn't know much about it, and I thought, well, what the heck? And when I was still pregnant, I think it was maybe at the end of my second trimester, Leslie actually invited my husband and I to join her 5-day clean eating challenge. And I'll be honest, that's what changed my life. I realized that I didn't have to starve myself. I realized that I could eat real food. I realized that I could probably eat a lot of real food and still feel good and lose weight. My doctors were thrilled. They told me that this was like the best thing I could ever do as far as, my pregnancy. And I ended up having a very, non-eventful childbirth with my youngest son, and everything went well. Leslie had asked me several times to become a coach. And I just remember saying or thinking, heck no. There's no way I'm going to become a coach because nobody's going to take me seriously. And she approached me again and she said, I know you said you don't want to be a coach. However, why don't you come to our sneak peek group? So I did. And I decided that I would go ahead and become a coach. I kind of thought, well, if anything, it'll just be a discount for me. And I think along the way, I've realized, which is what has propelled me into moving forward with my business, is people need coaches like me. They need someone who has went through what they're going through. They need someone who has struggled the way they have. They need to see someone who is consistently trying to get through the transformation and not feel intimidated by someone who is a fitness expert or someone who has always been fit their entire life. Not to say that those people are bad, because I think those coaches are fantastic and I learned so much from them. But I feel like I needed to do this for me, and I needed to do this for other people who were in the same position as me. I run my my accountability groups every month, and I check in right there with them, because then they know I'm going through this with them. I'm struggling. I have bad days too. But you know what? You pick yourself up and you keep going. So to me, that is the biggest reason why I became a coach. Not to mention that I wanted to become healthy. I wanted to, be around for a long time for my sons, for my husband. But I really wanted to inspire people, and I wanted people to realize that if I could do this, then they could too. So thanks for listening today, and that is my story. Thanks.